Hello everybody, welcome back to Road to Master. Hope you're all having an amazing day. We're starting off, we have the black pieces against an 1845 from France. High score, and we've got a d4. So let's go ahead and play d5. Seems sensible enough. With a Queen's Gambit. And you know what we do against this. We go with the Albin counter gambit. Really tricky way to sort of fight these boring. But the Queen's Gambit's not actually that boring. But the more positional games, get it into a gambit. And then D takes E is the correct move. And in response, we go D4. This is the whole sort of point of the opening, is that you're stopping the development of the C3 knight. The worst thing they could do in this situation is play E3. Yeah, so they do exactly the right thing with knight F3. There's a few other moves you can do, but they usually happen after knight F3, so knight F3 is the primary move you do. And we just go knight C4. So it's all covered nicely. And we're trying to win back this pawn. So the fianchetto is the sort of best line. There's a few others you can do. A3 is a good one, and then knight BD2 is the other good one. But fianchetto's fine, and to be honest, it's probably what you're gonna play against Queen's Gambit players. To be honest, they're unlikely to go for the more offbeat stuff. They're gonna stick to what they know, which is the boring stuff. Don't take it personally. And we're going to go knight e7, knight g7, which looks weird, and it looks like we're lacking in development. But after, so they just continue. We go knight g6. So you can see now the whole purpose of the knight coming to e7, then g6 is to hit this pawn again. Cool, and there's a ton of things they can do here. Castles, e3, and we're just happy, really. This is the position you want out of an Albin. You know, you've got a weakness, or a soon-to-be weakness. You've got weaknesses in these two pawns, which is the idea, and then a soon-to-be potentially isolated pawn up here. And those are your targets, basically. You've got clear targets, and it's a clear game plan. You just need a bit of finesse to pull it off. I don't know if I've actually pulled it off yet, to be honest. So we're living and learning as we go. But yeah, this is right. I bet you £5 million that there's a castle here, because why wouldn't there? Exactly. There we go. And here we just take the pawn with our G knight. And we take with that one, so we're still defending this. And because that's the one on the edge of the board, so why not get rid of it? And they're just going to take here, and they've given us back our pawn. So what's the situation now? So this is weak. This is weak. And this is strong for now, but could potentially become a weakness. And I need to remember how to play this. They're going to play b3. Or not. So they go bishop at f4. Okay. Bishop to f4. We can't take this pawn. I hope you all see that we can't take this pawn because of the queen check. And the knight can't come back to c6 to protect itself. So we need to defend the knight somehow. We go bishop d6. We're blocking off our queen's access to the d pawn, so that can't work. Maybe a bishop knight g6 could work. Bring the knight back to where it is. Knight c6 could work as well. In fact, that's probably the better move. Then you go bishop d6, bishop to e6 to hit the pawn. Again, your queen's covering this pawn, so you're not worried about that. And the double pawn is actually going to serve you quite well. It's getting rid of their strong bishop, and you're all good. So we'll drop back to c6. I think this is where the knight really wants to be, to be honest. There's not much else to it. The knight wants to be there. It's covering, it's attacking, it's flexible, it's stopping the check. You know, it's just a good square for the knight. And bishop e6 is, I think, our next step, to be honest. Which is why a lot of people decide to go for the fianchetto, the double fianchetto. So they cover c4, and their bishop hits this pawn at the same time, because this little bishop here is going to have a hard time actually hitting that. And we're fine with an e3. A trade-off queens, it's not ideal, but you know, it's fun. It's fun. Nothing wrong with that. In a lot of the lines, you develop your queen to one of these squares. I think d7 is actually the way to go. But yeah, maybe queenside castle. That's quite a common sort of theme in the Albin, is queenside castling. And then, starting a pawn storm. Basically, that's the plan. That is the master plan. Hopefully we can pull it off. Hopefully. They have another idea of getting the rook onto e1 with a pawn push. And I forget what I do here. Is it a queen e7 with a bishop e6 with a long castles? Potentially. Potentially. But they go b4. What? Because of bishop takes. Bishop takes with check. Pawn takes, queen check. Yes, sure. I don't have to do that, though. I don't have to do that. I don't see why that's not a free pawn. I don't see why that's not a free pawn. You could do check, sure. Maybe even c6 here would work. Or a simple bishop d7 as well. Could work as well. But I don't see why we can't just take this pawn. Yeah. I mean, if there's a reason we can't, then good for you, because I can't see it, to be honest. I think takes with bishop is the idea, and it's not forced, basically. And that's where you've always got to check with these gambits, little tricks, traps. Can they just not do what you planned? Is a big one. I know I suffer with that a lot. You know, I just be like, oh, this works if they do this, and then they just do a move that I didn't calculate, and it completely loses. So, yeah, it's something you've got to be aware of. And, yeah, I think here I can just bishop d7, queen e7, and then chillax, potentially. Yeah. Yeah, bishop. I don't see why we can't do bishop d7. And a rook b8 if we need to. But I think that's like an absolute last resort. I don't want to be playing rook b8. I want to... Well, maybe not even long castle in this situation. We're up a pawn, and they've cleared their way for their rook. So we don't really need to attack, to be honest. We just need to stay put. And calculate things out, really. That's the game plan. A bishop d6 is tempting, although the doubled pawns are going to be an inherent weakness to our game, so it's probably going to be a bishop e7. Followed by a bishop f6 could work. That's fine. That's fine. It's not actually threatening anything. Bishop takes, and we've actually uncovered our queen, defending the pawn. E3 potentially, but their queen's under attack. So you know, we're chilling. Bishop takes, queen somewhere. Bishop f6, defending the pawn. E3. Queen e7. Pawn takes. Nah. Or maybe we go Queen e7 now. That is a tempting one. Actually quite cool. Threatening takes e2, actually. And this still doesn't work for the same reason of bishop takes queen there. And we're not pinned anymore. So that's all good. Queen e7's tempting. Queen f6, not as tempting, but still cool. Queen f7, bishop takes is something we've got to be a bit careful of, but queen takes e2 seems fine. We're still not really threatening anything with that. Maybe just even a pawn push could work. Do we sack this pawn? What do we say, folks? What do we say? What do we say? It's tempting. It's so tempting. Queen c2. Bishop takes. Queen e2. Long castles then, I assume. Let's go Queen e7. That looks fun. It looks fun at least. Yeah, it looks fun. Queen e7 is the way to go, in my opinion. But we will see if it's the right opinion, you know, because that's the cool thing about chess is that there are right and wrongs. There's no speculation, you know, everything will be revealed in the end. Any bluffs and stuff will be paraded around and embarrassed. But yeah, it's a brutal game. No lies on the chessboard. And you can bluff your way through things, but you know, if someone calls you bluff, you're kind of done for. You are kind of done for. And it's up to them now to make a move. And you see the importance of this d-pawn preventing the knight coming in. They would love that there with a knight to either of these squares. But they can't. Full stop, they can't. Which is just great for us, to be honest. Just brilliant for us. After bishop takes as well, we're also threatening some queen e4. With some shenanigans of mating threats, but I don't think any of them work, but they're scary enough to be considered. Which sometimes is all that matters. They go for it. Wow. Brave. Braver. Well, let's continue. Let's take the pawn. Why not? Yeah, and I'm just I'm happy. I'm a bit wary of knight d2. Bit wary of that with the idea of pins because you've connected your rooks. What can we do about that? Maybe just like a queen h5. Whoa! What? Wow! You're clever. You are clever, my friend. It's an interesting one. It's an interesting one for sure. Whew. Talk about moves. Wow. So we're hitting the queen. We're getting attacked, and we're simultaneously making a threat of pinning to the queen. Scary stuff. Terrifying, really. Yeah. Whew. We have to think about this good and proper. We have to think about this. Taking is surprisingly an option with rook takes, bishop blocks. Bishop takes, knight takes, queen b4. And we're a bit screwed. We're a bit screwed. Gosh. Oh, sorry about the coughing, everyone. It's not pleasant. Yeah. Ooh, what move? Quite nice. I think queen h5 is probably the safest bet. Although the same things do apply. Bishop takes. Queen h4. Although we have queen g5. But then rook takes, queen takes. No, but then we can just take, which is good. So we've got to go queen h5 then. Queen h5. Not a move you want to play. Not a move. I just completely missed that knight c3. Congratulations, my opponent, because that was a beautiful, beautiful idea. I think they'll probably check first with a knight d5, but as soon as they play knight d5, we're actually free to go bishop e6 because the knight's blocking off the king. Shortly to castle and get out the way of everything scary coming our way. Basically, that's the plan. Move away from the scary stuff. We're still up a pawn somehow. I have no clue how. We still are though. So that's good. I didn't want to go bishop e3, e6 straight away. And they have to move their knight, basically. They have to. Yeah. At which point I'm happy with bishop e6. I think. It's a tough one to say, though. Bishop takes, pawn takes, queen takes. It's rough. It's rough. Yeah. Ooh. We've got to be careful, to say the least. We have to be very careful. We're gonna have to fight for any sort of result in this. Although it could go either way. You know, it could well go either way. If I was to evaluate this position and give it a number. Ooh, maybe a +2 for white. Maybe a +2. If they play their cards right, a +2. Yeah. And we'll see. What move are we on? 17, 18. We're saying a +2. Yeah, they did exactly the right thing as well. I'm assuming bishop takes. And our queen's actually doing a decent job of covering this c5 check, which is a bit scary. So we could potentially go in opposite coloured bishops as well, which is interesting. I mean, if their king stays wide open, then potentially we have some tricks we can do. We need to get our king way out of the way first. But they're making some light squared weaknesses. They're making a few light squared weaknesses. We'll probably move this h-rook over. We will probably move this h-rook. Just so we can get the king out of the way. Do we want to go to c8? Ooh, are they threatening checkmate? They're threatening checkmate. Whew, cheeky. Very cheeky indeed. Actually, that's scary as. That's terrifying. No, because we have king f6. Oh no. Oh no. That's horrible. I hate it. I hate every second of that. King f6. Gosh. No, I don't want to be a part of that. Don't want to be a part of that. They also have queen there with king f6. Queen takes with check is annoying. Maybe we sack the exchange. I don't want to have to. I really don't want to have to. It removes the opposite coloured bishops as well. It depends how strong we think this pawn is. How strong we think that pawn is. Let's go for it. Why not? Why not? I think we have to. I think it's a safe shout. It keeps our king out of danger. I think it's our best choice. And we can keep this rook quite close to our king as well. So we're a bit out of danger there. Yeah, we've just got to see how it goes, to be honest. We've got to see how this goes. Yeah. Hopefully we can get some counterplay. Yeah, they obviously take it. There's no reason not to take that. But now they have no checks. Now they have no checks. And if they decide to check us on b7, we just move the rook up. And after like a queen b4, we can go either way. Potentially even upwards to f6. That's a weird one. Not gonna lie, that's a weird one. I don't know what your game is there, to be honest. You're probably just looking at a b7 check. Probably just looking at a b7 check. Rook b7. Push the pawn. Push the pawn is a brave choice. It's very brave. Check. King up. Yeah, brave choice. A brave choice. Are we brave or are we stupid? That's the question, isn't it? That is the question. Should we push the pawn? We go after the queen, they just check us anyway. And we're in even worse a spot because we lose the rook. Yikes. Yikes, yikes, yikes. I would love a queen d5 here. But this pawn's been annoying. And that's the pawn we said would be a weakness as well. It's turning out not to be. I think we just push the pawn. I think we've got to make some semblance of a threat. Despite how small of a threat it is. And we will just keep pushing that. Hopefully we get maybe a bishop g4. Followed by f3. Followed by h3. Followed by mate. But I think that's a bit of a long shot, to be honest. Yeah. Yeah, it's not looking particularly nice. It's not looking particularly nice. I think the exchange was the right thing to do, though. I think the exchange was the right thing to do. There were too many threats, and our pieces are too far away. And I think the pawn is our best hope. It could potentially be easily stopped. Although I'd like to see them give it their best shot, really. I would very much like to see them give it their best shot. Potentially, rook takes, push, and if they do something else, queen takes, rook takes, bishop g4 is very interesting. Bishop and a rook versus a queen. Stranger things have happened. We would be down a pawn as well. Let's say that. So it's an unlikely scenario. It's unlikely. But we'll try. I don't see how else this is getting anywhere other than maybe getting the exchange back. Yeah, basically. I don't think we're realistically going after this pawn. I need to get this bishop unpinned. King f6 is the direction we're going. But then the bishop is actually still pinned. Which is a nuisance, to say the least. By the queen. But yeah. They need to make a move. They need to make a move. So I can make moves. Because I need to make moves. Because I'm getting not bored. Not maybe anxious. I just want to get this over with. See whether it's a win or not. It's the suspense that's killing me. Seeing if I can hold it. Which is why I like Bullet. But Bullet's extremely bad for your chess. Don't play Bullet. If you want to ever get your rating up. It's a rating destroyer. It is a rating destroyer. And it gets you into very bad habits as well. Which I'm working tirelessly trying to beat. But, once that habits are formed, it's hard to get rid of them. Wow. What? You sack back the exchange? Wow. What? I don't get that. I don't get why you had a need to do that. What? You sack back the exchange? That's wild. That's absolutely wild. In what world did you need to do that? I feel like I'm slightly better now even. I've got a backstage pass, Yeah, my king's a bit weak. My king is a bit weak. But we'll see. I think they're wanting a check either way. Queen c7 would, be fine. Rook check, we still go up. And yeah, we'll just double check this. We'll idiot proof it because God knows I need it. Yeah, sure. It's been idiot proofed. I say that and then it won't be. We could potentially get some semblance of a perpetual. This pawn's like an amazing threat. It's super scary. Super scary. Queen e2 covers this pawn as well as all the nasty checks they can do. And to be honest, I'm so happy. I'm so ridiculously happy right now. Thank you. I'm not going to complain at all. So you can do that. So you're saying you're trying to hit these two. Okay. I see you. And the problem is our rook's a bit isolated. Okay. Well, do they actually get anything from the check? There's some stuff. They get some stuff. And the problem is if they go there, then I'm either losing the pawn or losing my queen. Okay. I'm starting to see the sting. Okay. So, what do we do then? How do we cover everything? Which one's more scary? That's pretty scary. That's pretty scary as well. Oh, brilliant. The problem is rook b5 is extremely annoying. We would have to like push a pawn. What if we just ignore it and go like rook d4? And just let them check us. and try push this pawn. I think that genuinely might be our best idea. Queen takes, king f5. Where's your next check? Rook check. And that's mate. Well, queen takes, king up. Then you have so many checks. It's scary. Maybe it's not our best idea. This is nasty. This is nasty. We push the pawn, we lose. There's got to be something, right? Ooh, no, it don't work. It don't work. They take the rook. What if we move our king first? They have stuff. They have stuff. Newsflash, they have stuff. There's no perpetual, which is the really annoying part. King moves up. There's no queen f3. No. It's not happy. It's not happy. And by it's not happy, I mean I'm not happy. Yeah, maybe like a queen g6. Takes check, check. Rook up, move. And we just dance around this pawn. Praying. Hoping. You know. Let's go for that. I think everything loses. It's quite nice, actually. Quite nice little maneuver. I don't know if we should have been more prepared for that. But yeah. Nasty stuff. Real nasty stuff. Yeah, so they take. And we just go... up. We can't even go up. We would have to go this way. Yeah, that's nasty. Let's go for it anyway. Let's go for it. Our queen's holding stuff quite nicely, so we're not really at risk of losing any material. Well, any more material. F3 is super nasty here. Super nasty, actually. Threatening just... Yeah. Wow. Beautiful move. Actually, F3. Super cool. Queen's covering all that. Rook would cover that. Queen's covering that. It's just mate. It's just mate. That's super nice, actually. If they play that, I'll be severely impressed. Because it's just clinical, really. It's just clinical. Yeah. Really nice. Really nice. They played a good game, to be fair. They played a good game. And yeah, I'd love to see where I went wrong. It was probably queen e7. Just that knight c3. Yeah, I think that was it. It's just brilliant, really. Yeah, I mean, there's literally nothing else to say. It was just a really good move. They should be severely proud of themselves for finding that. You know, because I didn't, and I pride myself on finding tactics. So yeah, wow, beautiful. Beautiful. F3, I would just push the pawn. There's literally nothing that can be done. They go for that instead. I feel like that allows us to dance a bit and maybe threaten some promotion. We will dance as long as we can dance. Basically, that's the plan. We will dance as long as we can dance. I think that's quite cool to say. I think that's a cool saying. I might start saying that. And yeah, this is what I sort of hoped for. They're having some trouble mating me. And hopefully we can get enough trouble out of them to warrant it. I think they're probably fine though. They're probably fine. They could have been a bit more accurate in the end game, but realistically, when you rook up, you can do whatever you want. You can do whatever you want. There's nothing telling you what to do. I don't even know where to go for them, to be honest. I don't know what their big idea is. Maybe no, I can't even go there. They can't take the pawn. Yeah, maybe just waiting until I go to e2 or d2. Sorry, is probably their best shout. Just waiting me out, because it's a bluff. Really, it's not even a bluff. It's a half-hearted attempt at making threats. It's not even a bluff. It's just like a measly passed pawn. That's all it is, you know, and they should be able to stop it with relative ease, to be fair. But they are thinking. And I hope they don't run out of time, because that would be very disappointing. In fact, I would consider resigning for this person if they were to run out of time. Because they deserve it, to be fair. They do deserve it. Yeah, a minute to go. And they're thinking. I think, yeah, to be honest, I would be a bit stuck as well. Maybe even a queen e3 could work with some checks. Yeah, probably smart. We'll push the pawn. Checks. Actually, am I making some progress? Probably not. It's cool to hope, though. Let's take the rook. Sure, we'll take the rook. And I wonder here, can they stop the promotion? They have this pawn blocking. That being said, they could park the queen there and trade off and then promote, which is probably the smart thing to do. And if they do that, I will resign. Yeah, there we go. Not quite as clinical an endgame as I was giving them credit for, but they definitely do deserve that. Yeah, definitely. We'll see the analysis now. See where we went wrong. 84.1 versus 74.2. Two brilliant moves for them. 2100 versus a 1400, which is great to see. So we have this thing. There we go. All perfect, like we said. And here where we first went wrong. It's actually knight back to g6 to hit the bishop. I don't get that. I don't get that. Maybe you just wanting a kingside attack. We'll see. Apparently you can take that with a bishop, and it was actually a mistake to take that with the knight, which is wild to me, because that just looks dubious. So dubious. What's the follow-up on this? Queen a4. Okay, I don't see why that's bad. What about the bishop takes? Bishop takes. Oh, because you take with the pawn and they don't have a check anymore. Do you? Oh, gosh. Knight moves back. Queen comes in. Bishop blocks. Oh, you go g5. G5, yeah, super cool. Queen B5 is something along the lines of what I was sort of thinking, I think, if I remember right. Just sort of hitting these. Maybe we have to make a few, what's the word? Concessions? Concession? I don't know. But yeah, wow. G5. G5. Crazy stuff. Absolutely crazy. I'm surprised why they don't go back to C2, but I guess then your rook's further from getting in the game. And then you put your bishop on G7, which is covering the pawn again. Cool. Bishop takes is a miss. It's still wanted Queen B5. Oh, we've lost it. We've lost it. So we were 1.4 here actually, so I felt we were sort of good. And I did say Queen E7 was the way we messed up with this whole idea, but they play this absolutely stunning move, Knight C3, which I think we went through thoroughly, so we won't crack on too much. And it actually just wanted us to take the knight, which is losing in a slow way. You know, you just down so much material. So we go there. They played the right thing. Bishop blocks is fine. You're losing either way, basically. I'm surprised it wasn't happy with Bishop C6, but I can see how Rook B1 is quite good as well. And then it wanted Rook C to Rook A to C1, but we felt sacking the exchange gave us a bit more counterplay. We can keep fighting. We push the pawn. They sack the rook, which is actually a brilliant move. Wow. And I criticised it. I'll put my hands up. You know, it gave them a really good attack. I will say it gave them a really good attack. And they did the right thing. We did the wrong thing. They wanted us to push the pawn, although you just lose a pawn. And they weren't quite as efficient with this as they should have been. I want to see F3 here. What's F3 do? A6. Is that not just... Oh, A6 stops the rook coming in with check. Quite nice indeed. Can you do what else? King F5 then. Makes sense. That's quite a clever, sneaky move. Yeah. They dance around a bit, and then they just sack the queen for the pass pawn, which they can do. To be fair, they can do. Let's have a look at a real game in the Alban, because clearly I don't know what I'm talking about. Seeing as how that was all theory, we'll go from here. A win for black. Konstantin Beck something versus Alexander Herb something. Castles, knight takes, knight d2, which again, these moves you can sort of play in any order. They're all good. Bishop comes to e7, and then they play this fianchetto line, which we sort of mentioned. Castle kingside is interesting because that's not something you usually see. Bishop goes to f6, I think we mentioned as well. And then knight takes f3 is also something I know is quite an important thing in the Alban. Just freeing up lines, stopping your knight getting kicked out a bit, stopping them being able to trade on their terms. And the bishop goes to e5. I'm guessing that's just to stop the trade-off on f6. The knight dances around a bit and hits the bishop again, which seems like a waste of time. White's better here. White's 0.8. You develop your bishop. They don't actually want to take the light squared bishop because then you move your pawn over and it actually defends the d pawn. So they hit the queen and the bishop, so it's forcing a sort of trade off. But black can actually take with the light squared bishop. And black decides to take with the pawn, which is wild, rather than the bishop. And the reason of this is the bishop's actually covering the pawn, and the pawn's actually blocking the rook from defending the black pawn, which is crazy. The knight moves, attacking the bishop, which would be great to trade off. Just getting rid of the bishop pair. And then if takes, then you have the discovered check, which I'm guessing black wants. Although it looks, computer's saying it's better for white, it's 1.3. And the bishop dropping back is 1.5, so I'm guessing they can just take this pawn here in this situation. The pawn push is a bit of a mistake, but I can see the reasoning. You're looking to hit this loose bishop. And you've double isolated, which we've said is one of the weaknesses you're trying to create in the album. Takes the bishop. The bishop's sitting on d4, which is a weird square for it, I must say. You can't really cover it, but then again, you can't really get attacked that easy, so maybe it's okay. White decides to take off one of their double pawns to get this b pawn, which seems like such a good trade for white. The rook actually comes from A all the way over. Rather than staying on this side, it goes all the way over, locking this rook on the f file, which seems weird. And then this is a blunder for white. And to be honest, I don't really see why. I don't really see why. Is it with a queen check on d4? King up. Obviously, if they take with the rook, you just take the rook. And then maybe you take the pawn. Maybe something like that. Yeah, exactly that. Oh, and then a h5. With a rook e2. You're hitting the bishop, you're hitting the rook, you're hitting the pawn. Crazy stuff. Rook takes, queen takes. They offer a queen trade. Black just keeps gobbling up pawns. Going after the king a bit. The king moves up to g7 to let the rook in on h8, which is cool. More checks. f5 is really nice. I wonder what happens if bishop takes. Pawn takes. I think you're just sacking a bishop for 2 pawns, probably. You keep checking, win the bishop eventually, and the game is drawing here. It's 0.0, which is wild. Am I crazy, or when did black go down the piece? Oh, they sacked the piece for the king coming out. That's why. I thought black was up a piece here. But no, they win the bishop back. It looks drawn to me. I mean, the queens on the board indicate drawing. And then you're even on pawns as well. So something must have gone wrong here. You keep messing about. I'm guessing check just win the rook, but white didn't go for it. I don't know what time control this was. It must have been a short time control to make mistakes. This has been inputted as a win. I think it's drawing. I'm not sure why it says win. Maybe it was a time control they flagged or something. I'm not quite sure. But anyway, that was quite a cool game. Quite tactical. Really interesting how they make the weaknesses with the white pawns as well. But anyway, I hope you all enjoyed that. Thank you all for watching. Please like if you liked. Please subscribe if you really liked. And I'll catch you guys all tomorrow. Bye-bye.